Hey guys, tightrope here, bringing you a 1v1 today. We are on Twin Beaches, and in the south we have Luve³ playing as Wehrmact, going for Luftwaffe, dropping some lads in immediately, as you can do. In the north we have F3riG with US forces. Not sure what battle group he's gone. So yeah, first replay of Company of Heroes 3 for me, now that the fog of war has been, well, look at that. What's going on there? Fog of war thing has been revealed. Forgot to do a cast. Note that this is not Love Nest. This rumor is that it's Seeking. I don't know if you remember Seeking, who got banned for map hacking in Company of Heroes 2, but yeah, not Love Nest. I want to make that clear. Yeah, both these guys top 10, so it should be a good matchup. See what the meta's like, see how it goes. So it's going to be the Weasel. Rumor is, well, I heard this got ninja buffed in the most, not the most recent patch, but patch before that, 1.05. This is on 1.06. Hotfix that came out yesterday. So there we go, come in for a bit of a push with the Weasel. Doesn't have the machine gun upgraded on that yet. Takes away that Luftwaffe Pioneer. Falchion Pioneer, rather. Meanwhile, we've got the Kiesin Crad for Luve. Scouts doing some capping. Very, you know, these being able to drop in like instantaneously, I'm not a big fan of this. I feel like these abilities, kind of like how they did in Company of Heroes 2, need to start on a cooldown. So you can't just do what he did there, just drop it right onto the cutoff. Or right onto a point on the map. It's completely skipping build times and having to run places. I feel like that's not really built into the cost of these units at the moment. A few wee skirmishes. Fight for the hill is always tough because the elevation mechanics around here. Quite often, you know, trying to advance, you kind of have to make a gap because these high cover positions work, but these lower ones don't. But tried to draw some fire there with this squad while this one closed the distance, and it looks like it's pretty successful. Two squads up here with F3riG. In some trouble actually. Slightly late retreat. So they're going to be alright. The Weasel now has the upgrade. Got the machine gun coming in. Life in nice heavy cover position over here. 3 squads. And they're in a bit of trouble here because this Weasel's doing pretty well. He's focusing it down now though, and this is where that ninja armor buff maybe comes into play. The old Weasel probably would have gone down there. Meanwhile, capping up with that Kiesin on the far sides. It's capping like crazy. Weasel does repair itself while it's out of combat. I think it has to be stationary as well. Looks like he's sending it out though to try and stop the capture, and the very fast reactions from the Kiesin. Weasel's in hot pursuit, but I think the Kiesin's a little bit too fast for it. A little bit more clunky coming around that corner. He's driving fast though. Not quite fast enough. Oh, but what was that? It just stopped. It allowed the Weasel to stay in hot pursuit. And the rifleman comes in. Yeah, I don't know. He took a pathway through here. I think if he came down here towards his base, he would have had a good chance of getting out of there. Bit of a pathing hiccup around here though. And as big, Weasel actually survives that as well after a bit of small arms damage. So you can back that out, maybe just park it on a point and do some capping with it while it self-repairs. Out of combat and stationary. He's going to send it all the way back to base. Gone for the infantry support though, so not going to have the repairs back here. He's just going to leave it back at his base. Oh, and use the healing on it. Okay, that makes more sense. Does have a healing ability. And has pretty good like range like on that healing. It goes to about here-ish. So you don't have to be super close to the Weasel. That's maybe a bit of a surprise. You can see it self-repairing itself now as well. But yeah, this kind of allows the US player to get away with not having to go for medics for quite a bit longer. That Weasel heal ability gives him a bit of a manpower advantage. And he's gone for the captain. This seems to be the most popular build at the moment for US forces, from what I've seen. Watch a bit of Momo and a couple others. Right, and a little bit awkward. Tries to reposition slightly, get them both behind heavy cover from both directions, but besides, he needs to get out of there. Got a grenade launcher on this one, but it's kind of isolated. Still got some pretty good hits from the grenade launcher as the rifleman approached, though. Now that it's in point blank, can't make use of it. He's trying to run a little bit further away to try to get a grenade launch. And manages to get one there, but the bars pop now on the rifleman, forcing them away. Weasel's healthy. He's not using it though, he's just using it for the healing back here. I'm not entirely sure what the cooldown is on that healing. Seems to be reasonable. The cooldown on the Dingo's healing for Brits is incredibly bad by comparison. Otherwise we might see that unit a bit more in a similar role. Stopgap. So you don't have to construct medics, which do cost fuel, can slow down your light vehicle timing. But here we go, we're at bars and it looks like they've been upgraded with the second bar. You look for that plus symbol. Generally means they've got the second weapon upgrade.
We have lost control of a victory
This one doesn't, as you can see. They're making a big charge right down the middle of the map. Weasel's doing a little bit of capping now. And we've got some Jaegers coming in.
We are losing control of a sector.
Very powerful. Has not selected to go for anything yet. Is he going to go for the Luftwaffe combat group still? It did get a command point nerf.
Sector now under enemy control.
Got the Luftwaffe company back here, but has not gone for the side tech on it. So yeah, looks like it's still going to be the Luftwaffe combat group, even with the one command point nerf on its timing. But yeah, one thing that I didn't notice, I was playing Brits yesterday, was the penetration on the Panzerschreck. I was really confused because I had a Matilda which has 300 armor after the most recent patch. I was like, I should be able to shrug off a few Shrek hits with this, but from what I could see in the mod tools, the Panzerschreck has 300 penetration up close, which is just like, why? What are they doing? Seems crazy to me.
250 points left. We must persevere.
But alright. I mean, mid-range it's got like, I think about 180-ish, so it's much more normal. But yeah, it makes it quite hard to micro your very slow heavy tank. If up close it gets pinned 100%. Try keep your range is the moral of the story. Try stay to mid to long range. Bazookas also have about 200 pin up close, but yeah, that's a big difference. Tiger could still bounce a few of those. Alright, so a few engagements all over. At the moment, seems like pretty strong control from Luve3.
Territory sector lost.
Now doing some capping with the Weasel on the far edge. Engineers up close. They do have the flamethrower upgrading. It looks like it's going to arrive a little bit too late. Turns around to use it on the Pioneers and they retreat very quickly. Captain rolling up. And here comes the Wehrmacht. It looks like he's going straight for the Weasel. He's going to run past this point though. Weasel trying to get away here for F3riG. It's pretty fast though, and that Weasel's having trouble getting away. Oh! Oh my god, the elevation. Saving the day there. Wow. Lucky break. Now we've got some commandos in here. They've got the bazookas out. They were saying very good penetration up close. I didn't check the commandos rate of fire on the bazooka. I know the paratroopers is slightly faster than the bazooka squad you can get from the other tech structure. They did get a manpower buff. Don't know about the rate of fire. As far as I could see, I don't think they had any penetration bonuses. No, like elite Zooks. Similar to what we had in Company of Heroes 2, though. They don't have any extra damage or penetration as far as I'm aware. Bazookas, all the same stats on every unit. Doesn't matter what's carrying them. But apart from reload times. Alright, Weasel out the back healing up. Completed the repairs on the Wehrmacht. Can't see any of the upgrades on that support center, unfortunately. I've been capping out the edge, but the Jaegers get a nice position on them up here. Haven't seen this utilized too much, but that's actually a really good position. Try and flush a unit out of that light cover on that area of the map. A lot of water down there, so you can't actually plant sandbags on a lot of those points. You can just plant them here, you can't plant it over here. It's kind of hard to see the water though, right? Not that obvious from the default camera position. Rebel's been relatively well contained to this point. Hasn't been that devastating. He's got the commandos right there.
The enemy has taken a victory point.
Don't think we've seen any Weasel weapon drops so far though. Did get a timing nerf. But I thought, you know, maybe we'd still see one or two of them. Maybe the munition's not allowing though. Can't see the resources of the US player, so it's hard to make those kind of judgment calls.
We have territory cut off from supply.
Don't really need a machine gun though against, you know, I mean, not a machine gun, a mortar against a composition of Wehrmacht like this.
He's already dead.
So you can see the US player F3riG really far behind on victory points at this stage. You know, it's just such a... Still, you know, even with the nerf command point timing, still comes in at a good timing. You know, you can skip going for that side tech. Saves you a lot of resources. Gets you a useful squad. You know, those Jaegers are actually just so good. I feel like I could definitely imagine them getting a nerf at some stage. So strong in combat without any upgrades. And that Shrek is just a real powerhouse. Help you against the opponent's vehicles. Did end up going for a mortar though. Using it to barrage.
The enemy has claimed our territory for their own.
And looks like the Weasel's just on permanent heal duties at the moment. You see the edge of the heal range, as I was saying, it's pretty good. So you don't have to be that close. Making a big move. We've got a second squad of commandos now, forcing away the Jaegers. Looking to do some capping. It's kind of, you know, in this game, you've got to get your fast capping units in the right position, like the scouts and whatever, to try and cap up a bunch of territory uncontested. That's one of the main differences in COH2 to COH3. Making use of the suppressing ability here on these riflemen, it looks like. Going for a chase down, looking for a Luftwaffe wipe. Ocean Pyres go down. The Wehrmacht trying to stay out of bazooka range here. Try to soften up, allow this to escape. And let's take a bit more damage, but it's going to survive at least. But it seems like the infantry now starting to come into its own with the double barns, with the veterancy. Starting to lump up these Falchion Pioneers, but they have all gone for the grenade launchers. So, you know, the grenade launchers good long to mid-range, but once the riflemen get up close, Falchion Pioneers don't really stand a chance anymore. This is not good for the Jaegers to charge into heavy cover like this. Rebels coming in though. Doing a bit of spray, and here come the G launchers.
Enemy forces have captured the victory point.
And manages to make a bit of a breakthrough, but this has all just been saving up for the Brumbier. This is a bit of a risk. It does have very good armor on the front, the Brumbier. Very, very high armor. So it can shrug off those bazookas, you know, as I was saying, mid to long range very effectively. The bazookas, I can't remember, maybe it's about 120-ish pin in the mid to long kind of area, 200 up close. So as long as the Brumbier is facing the right direction. Tough to pin with these commandos. And still no tech down yet from F3riG. Really focusing on the victory points. Down to 104 at this stage. Can't afford to let this go on for too long. Needs to start fighting back. Okay, here it goes. Tank depot finally coming up.
The enemy has claimed our sector.
On station!
The wind finding a target here. Brumbier, I don't know, it feels like maybe the vehicles of Luve³ is just not that.
We are to be commanded. The enemy is down to 100 points.
It hasn't been that good positioning the rotations. But here we go, big shot from the Brumbier. Almost half squad off the commando's first hit. The Whirlwind coming in from the other side. Riflemen popping their abilities, trying to do maximum damage here.
Commandant, we have surplus munitions to spend.
There you go, the commandos.
They are securing our capture point.
Whirlwind is having trouble. There are a lot of sight blockers up here. It's got to be careful.
Commandant, you have command point.
Kiting with the commandos, getting a shot off, then backing away before the Brumbier didn't get a clean hit. Brumbier did back off a little bit too far. Going back in now for the commandos. It goes for the rifles instead. Stands his ground with the Wehrmacht. And because you go for so many of these Falchion Pioneers, you always have a lot of repairs available in this build. It's part of what makes it so strong.
The enemy has 75
Got a
points.
plane up in the air. It's getting shot down by the Wehrmacht though. Eventually. There it goes. Just like burst into flames. I didn't get a clean look on that animation. Didn't seem as theatrical as the plane crashes though from Company of Heroes 2. 60 points left for F3riG. Really needs to do something at the moment. It's going to be the Hellcat. Did get a fresh buff here to its rate of fire. Much higher rate of fire on this now. We've got Shreks on 2 Jaegers at this stage, so got to be careful that Hellcat doesn't have super long range on it, kind of like the Jackson did. But he finds the Brumbier isolated, rear armor exposed. He's got the Shrek coming up. Hellcat though driving back through right into the Shrek, and the second Shrek gets in range as well. Not the best handling of the Hellcat to this point. Trying to get around the side. The Shreks though, what are they doing? They're running around, they're getting suppressed. Oh, the suppression kicking in from the rifles. One of the Jaegers goes down and they drop their Shrek as well. Got a Panzer IV arriving, but just a tiny bit too late. And the Hellcat I think is going to be fast enough to get away here. Oh, no it's not. The Wehrmact did just enough damage to finish the job. The Hellcat's rear armor not able to shrug off that damage. Shrek on the ground there. Sometimes you can't see these weapons though until you get really close to them. Don't think the rifleman would have weapon slots, so they've got the double, got the plus sign there. Can only carry 2 weapons. Don't know if there are any triple slot units yet. Maybe the captain could pick it up, but as I said, I don't know if he's actually knows that it's there, because I think there's a bug with drop weapons, you can't see them sometimes. But doing a good job on the VP's F3riG, branching out to the side with the scouts, with the riflemen, getting some important capping done there and jamming this one. So pretty good trade, Hellcat for the Brumbier, but when you're behind, still need to make something happen, and it's going to be another Hellcat, it looks like, popping out here.
Jaeger light infantry on station.
Pop the suppression ability of the rifleman, slowing down that Falchion Pioneer, but here's the Panzer IV now. Wehrmacht getting a solid hit there. He's focusing down that squad, really wants to force it away with these riflemen so they can't cap. And here comes the Hellcat now. He's going into hull down mode, but I believe the Hellcat does have like a 5 range advantage over most medium tanks. So you can't rely on that. He drops the planes down though, the Hellcat's got to get out of there. Oh, luckily the plane came in from this angle. Still does big damage to the scout, stops the capture. Trying to come down to the bottom now. Needs the Hellcat to rotate across that direction. Oh, the commandos take a big pass. The Panzer IV comes up and wipes them out. Ouch. Hellcat's making its way across here. Needs to make a move onto this VP. Scouts overstaying their welcome. Maybe one more pass going to come through on them here. They don't take too much damage. Oh, those plane maneuvers. A little bit clumsy looking. He's rebuilt the Brumbier already, but the Whirlwind goes down. Hellcat swooping in, combining up with the bazooka damage. Got the Shrek coming around the corner now. But it misfires, and now it finally fires. But the Panzer IV is up here, a little bit exposed. The Brumbier trying to force away the commandos and does manage to do so. The Shrek coming in. Hellcat getting a good shot on the rear. But now the Shrek's there, the Panzer IV's there. Panzer IV just needs to be able to shoot. Oh, it's not enough. Hellcat still had 40 health left, and the Panzer IV dies. Hellcat up to Vet 2 after that. 2 kills. Trying to get away here. I think the grenade launcher could potentially do some damage. Has to land the shot though.
Victory point lost.
Does not land. So it gets away. Wow, I thought it was going to die to that final Panzer IV shot, but I was wrong. Not quite used to all the health thresholds and damage thresholds in this game. I think the Panzer Shreks actually do 160 damage, but the Panzer IV does 120.
Commander.
But yeah, not used to how things look. I've had a few units get away on like 20 health or 40 health or something and just completely throws my strategy off. Throws out some smoke. 34 points left. He's making a move onto the far VP now with the scout and the rifleman. Scout with the fast capping. Rifleman to force away the Falchion Pioneer. Bombardier coming out to the far side.
Territory lost.
How is that repairing while it's moving? Did you see that?
The enemy has taken a victory point.
Not sure. Rifleman do force away the squad. Managed to get the decap down here. 27 points left for F3riG. But we've got plenty of munitions for Luve, and he's got the planes. The strafing run could be an option in some of these fights. Got a Sherman out now though. Hellcat's still waiting for repairs out the back. I think we've seen one engineer, but it's running out to the front lines at the moment. Flamer on the ground there, by the way. Must have lost an engineer on that cut-off earlier. Sherman looking for the wipe on the Pioneers.
We have territory cut off from supply.
Now just throwing out a grenade. Easy dodge. Ooh, but the Pios do not escape.
The enemy has cut us off.
And the infantry forces now looking a little bit weak for Luve. Lost a few squads like that on retreat.
Sector lost.
Like a Shrek bounced off the Sherman there. I think it can do that like at absolute max range. Saying I think it's about 170 pin. That Sherman does have pretty strong frontal armor in this game. Okay, the loiter's up in the air again. But pretty fast dodging from the Sherman. Definitely feel like F3rig's getting kind of lucky. Sometimes the way these planes line up, you just can't dodge them at all. Hasn't been the case so far. Trying to go for the final capture. Hoping for the anti-infantry plane to force away this rifle squad. And manages to pin it. Does big damage. Throws out a grenade here, a satchel, no dodge. Ooh! Squad comes out of suppression though somehow. And nearly dies to the planes on the next pass, and the G-launcher finishes the job. Oh no, he's in there jamming the capture with the captain. But now has to get out of there with the Brumbier arriving. Meanwhile the Sherman switching sides, locking out the capture on the far edge. 27 points there for F3riG. He's back on the drain.
They cannot withstand us. They are down to only 25 points.
Planes are still loitering. I can't believe these anti-everything planes back in this game. 20 points. F3riG, he's got nothing anywhere close to this VP. He's got to get this cap going. Still has quite a bit to go here on the decapture though. Oh, the Sherman coming in with a big flank here. Goes into hull down mode. He's coming in with a Hellcat as well though. Shrek on that Falchion Pioneer picked up one from a Jaeger. Hellcat's in here. Might need one more shot though after this. The hull down damage reduction kicking in. The Hellcat! Oh! No kill. Rifleman here. Going for a sticky bomb I think. Oh, looks like the Hellcat got the job done, and this is only showing the grenade launcher, not the Shrek. So they end up going down. A little bit too aggressive there from Luve. Up their suppression ability, and wow, that suppresses really fast. Like half a burst from the bar, double bars, and they suppress these squads. Better than a machine gun. Throws out a grenade here. Big damage. The rifleman owning up these Jaegers at the moment. in the 2-on-1. Panzer IV's coming back in. 11 points left. It won't take much. He's going to take the risk. He's lower on repairs now. Makes it harder. He's got the... this is the strafe this time. This one's quite a lot easier to dodge, and I think it's actually quite weak. For how much it costs. Not a big fan of this one. That's why you don't see it used too often. He did have plenty of munis though, so this one on cooldown. Desperate for the VP win. Can understand trying to use it in this case, but often I just don't really recommend it. And yeah, Weasel just used as a permanent healing vehicle. Does mean that he doesn't get the medic like reinforce bonuses, you know, cheaper reinforced because of the medics going out and saving the soldiers on the battlefield. So maybe it does end up costing you manpower in the long term, but I think it's worked out pretty well for him so far this match. And you know, the game might not go that long anyway. But yeah, this hull down, one of the dumber things in the game at the moment, like instantaneous activation and deactivation. Really, really dumb. Reduces incoming damage.
Brombears fueled and ready for targets.
Going for the rebuild on the Brombear. How many commandos we got? We still have 2, or did he lose one at one stage? Looks like he's just got the 1 commando at this stage, so I don't know. Is the Brombear the right choice? I would have thought another Panzer IV would have been a safer option. Just, you know, can fight back against these tanks a lot more effectively. Dropping some Fallschirmjäger. They are pretty good this game. Have to watch out though if the US player has the quad, the vetted up quad, can shoot down these planes very, very quickly. Not the case in this match though. Okay, Vet 2 coming in. Shrek connects once though. Trying to go for the capture here, but I think maybe hit a mine there, got suppressed. Engineers trying to hold on for as long as they can. And Sherman Hellcat coming down this way now. He's got 2 squads guarding up here. Panzer IV's down here as well, but now it's in the 2-on-1. No support whatsoever. He's dropped down the planes. Can these get the job done this time? Nearly knocked out the Hellcat again, hanging on by a thread.
Command points available.
But they do some big damage to the captain. Panzer IV trying to get away here. He never went for the skirts upgrade. And there we go. Panzer IV goes down to the Sherman. Sherman, I think, running pretty good. And it looks like with that, Lovey has thrown in the towel. Don't think we can see any scoreboards or anything. So, yeah, there we go. First replay. Hopefully my volume levels were acceptable. I didn't do too much testing on it. Good comeback from F3riG. But yeah, I don't know. Late game choice to continue spamming the Brombear instead of going for another Panzer IV. I don't know. Maybe a few slightly late retreats. Though I think F3riG very good about capitalizing on those opportunities to wipe squads on retreat. You know, squads that were... if I can hit pause here. Stop the noises. Squads that were kind of capping this point and then retreating on the way back. F3riG coming in from this angle and like wiping them as they were coming down, retreating through here. Made a big difference in the late game. But yeah, I think also F3riG getting a little bit lucky. These planes just didn't really line up their attacks too much. Got some very close escapes, or you know, just zero damage, which in my experience doesn't happen too often. But maybe it helps that the US tanks are quite fast and drive away from these compared to something like a Matilda. But yeah, that's a pretty representative game, I'd say, of the meta at the moment. Luftwaffe with a few Jaegers and Shreks. Maybe a bit more use of the Brombear than you'd see in most matches. Maybe some more hull down abuse with skirts upgraded on Panzer IVs instead of the Bombeers. But yeah, some good weasel action here. As you can see, can be used for the healing. Delays your need to go for healing and help you with your timings. Commandos is like the stopgap measure, anti-tank, to help fight back against the still relatively fast arriving Luftwaffe combat group. But yeah, that'll do. Hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, I'll be accepting replays now. As I was saying, as before, you'll still need to be within the top 200. But yeah, I'll start doing some more casts now that Fog of War disabled and can do some replays. Probably, I don't know. Might just stick to 1s and 2s at this stage. I don't know about team games. I heard that sometimes you get sync errors when casting like this, and I feel like it's probably more likely to happen during the big team modes. But yeah, anyway guys, wrap on that. If you like what game we cast by me, details in the video description below. Otherwise, I'll catch you off the next thrilling installment. Goodbye and good luck.